We're here with Maggie Siff. Maggie, the new season's starting up soon. Can you give me kind of the broad stroke what your character's going to be up to this season?
Well, all of the characters are really just dealing with the fact of baby Abel having been abducted. So there's just, the season picks up 2 days after it's happened. So it's pretty high intensity, sort of everybody living in the wake of this trauma and trying to figure out what to do. And, I keep describing this season as sort of having, for my character, being about having made the decision to stay, having made the decision to be in this relationship, feeling much more firmly connected to the club and the community and like a real part of a family, and then everything just falls apart. And so it's there's just a lot of chaos, and for my character there's also a lot of confusion about her job and what her place is, and yet a real conviction that she is where she should be. But so I don't know, somewhat where she should be, no, that question is always actually still very alive, but in a way I'm more rooted to the town and to the family.
Okay, and it's one of those intense shows that you're just watching on the edge of your seat. It just really gets you. How do you prepare for that as an actor, and then how do you shake it when maybe the scene's done?
Well, luckily we have such fine writing and such good collaborators. All the actors are so wonderful that it doesn't take that much to imagine yourself into the scene once you have it on the page, because we know our characters so well at this point. And then I try to really, I often, when I have a really intense scene, I often sort of learn the language and then take long walks with it and just kind of let it float around in me, and then so that I really, really know it on some level, and then I try to let it go, and then I show up and just try to let it surprise me. And generally the letting go of it takes care of itself, because by the end of that kind of a day you're really tired, and hopefully you've realized it and torn a few things up, and there's sort of a cathartic quality to the show. So I don't usually have a hard time shaking it, because you get to do it once and then you're done. You're moving on. I come from a theater background where you have to do the thing that you do. You have to do every night, and that becomes harder to shake during your days. But I find with this work, you do it and you're done. You're moving to the next thing.
And Curtis talked about how he sometimes develops the characters and the stories once he gets to know the actors really well. So have you had a lot of dialogue with him about where you'd like to see the character go, or the story, or just some of the choices that are made?
Yeah, we check in. We've had some serious check-ins, and from the beginning, I think one of the things he was really intrigued by was having a character who was so kind of smart and educated and had made so many decisions to make a different choice come back into the world. I don't think he initially thought that I was right for the role until he met me. Until he realized what we could make sort of together. And so we have a lot of conversations, in particular with this character, about the balance of her sort of kind of intelligence and self-realization in terms of transforming who she's been, and then also this darker underbelly, sort of visceral side of her, which comes from this place and has this past, and is of this world and has all of those violent impulses sort of within her, and how we sort of allow them to burble back up to the surface. So we're always in a dialogue about that, and how to make it believable.
And when you're on your hiatus, whenever that comes up, are you looking to do something lighter? Maybe something comedic, or just something that's very different from what you're doing on the show?
It's just something different. Last year on our hiatus, I went back to New York and I did 2 plays, and one of them was a frothy language sex comedy, and it was so that probably couldn't have been more different. And the other was a Sam Shepard play, which was more in the vein of this world somewhat. So but also totally different. So
Okay. And, we hear a lot about theater actors coming to TV or film. When you go back to do theater, do you notice yourself different as an actor just because of your TV work?
Yeah.
And how's that different?
And when I come back to do, they just inform each other. I'm not really sure how. I always think of film as being a smaller scale of acting, a more intimate, sort of nuanced thing. But it's kind of amazing how much of that nuance you can actually bring to a stage. And in terms of theater acting, it's kind of what translates back to television or film from that is the energy. There's sort of this energy of output, and you can actually bring that back into camera work. And so they're actually a really ideal balance in terms of how they grow you, I think, as a performer.
Okay. And for fans of Mad Men, any plans for you to be showing back up there anytime soon?
I just can't answer that question. Matt Weiner is the most secretive man on television. He did half my head.
All right. I like that answer already. All right. Thank you so much.